Good afternoon, and welcome to Nicole's Journey, episode 8. Today, I'm going to actually field a question I got asked me yesterday, and we're also going to talk about anxieties. Because in our life, especially a lot of us, we have anxieties. And I'm also going to talk about why things are more brought out nowadays. Because a negative question, not brought to me personally, but I talked to a friend of mine, said there was a man, he was out one night, going back about maybe a year or two ago, and a gay couple came into a restaurant, and he heard a man over say, all you see nowadays is gays and trans, and people have anxieties, and people have mental health. Everything is out. Everybody wants attention nowadays. Well, it's not that we want attention. It's not that lesbians, gays, bis, trans, queers, pansexuals want attention. It's not that people who have anxieties and mental health issues want attention. It's just, it's now in a society that we can talk about it. We can be ourselves, because we don't live in a society 100 years ago, 50 years ago, where people kept things hidden because they were afraid of embarrassing their families. We are all individuals. We are all ourselves. I am trans because I'm trans, because I was born with a male body, per se, but with a female brain and identity. Lesbians and gays were born lesbian and gay. They're an individual. It's not because of mom or dad. There is probably a gene in that situation, but it's not because of anything they did wrong or did right. People have mental health issues for all kinds of reasons. People have anxiety. It runs in family. Anxiety runs in my family. So this gentleman, whoever made that comment, was ignorant and rude because of his own shortcomings in his life, not because of the gay couple or because the trans woman or because the lady who just got out of the mental ward of the hospital because she had a breakdown. He has the issues because we're living our lives. People have to start realizing that individuals are individuals. Just because if I want to quote MASH. I watched MASH a lot. I'm a very big MASH fan. And there's an episode where a soldier comes out gay because, well, he got bruisings on him for brawling, and they found out because he got a gay label tagged on him. And Major Frank Burns said, one of them, and he did the shaking thing. And Hawkeye and Trapper said, well, what do you mean one of them? And he goes, one of them, and did the whole hand thing. And they said, well, that's just their person. And they said, well, why can't and Frank Burns said, why can't everybody be like each other? Why can't we all just be the same? And Trapper said, what about individuality? And Burns said, well, nothing wrong with individuality as long as we're all doing it together. And that is a big perception. And that show was in the 1970s, based on the 1950s. So the whole thing about this gentleman, what he said, is it's his issues, because it was Frank's issues, because Frank felt that this gay person being around him would rub off. Well, if you're gay, you're gay. If you're lesbian, you're lesbian. If you're trans, you're trans. It's the way you are. If you're straight, you're straight. And so basically what I'm trying to say about all this is, when people make comments like that, that's when you have a very ignorant person that you just ignore. I honestly, at this point now, I had a situation today where Will went downstairs. I was getting ready for the day, and he went and dropped, Katie came by with some stuff for me, and she had to pick up some stuff from me. And Will ran it down. When he was coming up, he brought a rainbow bag up for me from IKEA that Caitlin had ordered. And a gentleman who lives in the building rode in the elevator up one floor. We live on the 5th, he lives on the 2nd. And either in the elevator or leaving, he made a comment in French. Now, seriously, folks, if you're going to make derogatory comments to the youth, seriously, don't do it in a foreign language. I mean, don't do it at all, because if anything, kids know, even if they didn't learn anything in their 12 years of education taking French, or if they took a foreign language, if there's anything, they know all the swear and derogatory words in French, probably Italian, German. They know these words. So when you say the word fag in French, my 17-year-old's going to know it. So I've always expected this gentleman would have a problem with me, and that goes without saying. It bothered me a bit when Will told me, because I have anxiety over that. But then I realized of all the positives I have and all the positive people I have, and the 169 friends that I have on Facebook, and I like to use that number. The 149 I started with when I came out, lost none, gained 20. I feed off that positivity. I am going to have looks, and I know that. But I know I am looking better and better every day. I know I'm getting the hair down better. I know I'm getting the makeup better. And I know everything will start to change in time. I am me, and I have to be me. So, going with the question I got yesterday from my friend Sherry, who lives in Toronto. I grew up with Sherry. She is a good friend of mine. We consider ourselves our first girlfriend boyfriend when I was male. We were in grade 5, and we'd do the whole hand holding. We'd watch TV together, Happy Days, stuff like that. Sherry asked a very good question, because talking about me in the past, how would I refer to you? And I've said this too, and I actually said this the other day too, about my friend Bill, who wrote the article on BP Sports Niagara. Hope you've gone to that, Googled it, gone to his website, read some of the articles. Excellent articles, I'm telling you. Subscribe, awesome. He asked the same question. In my past, yes, refer to me as Rob. There's nothing wrong with that, because if if we did something as Rob, then you need to say that. But you can say after, if you're talking to someone, well, the guy Rob I told you about, he's actually transgender, and he's now going by Nicole. There's nothing like that. If you choose not to do that, nothing wrong with that either. We tend to want to jump down people's throats when they do something wrong. Last night at work, I talked with my coworker Tina, and she said Rob a couple times. She got mad at herself, and I told her to relax. It's early. It's been 3 weeks. There's going to be slip-ups. I get it. I've done it. So, and I've reassured her it's okay. Now, like I said before, in the past, if you're referring to me, you can tell people Rob. But if you want to slip in the fact that I'm now Nicole, there's nothing wrong with that. However, going forward, as the transition really starts to happen, and the hair changes, and the face changes, and the body changes, and the attitude changes, well, it won't change that much, but that's when, the Robs need to be a little less. So those are some anxieties I deal with. I deal with the looks and some people's perception. But I use positives to bring myself back by looking at my friend Sherry, my friend Bill, my coworker friend Tina, my other coworkers and friends, and just the way people act towards me. We're all going to have people that look at us funny, whether we be whatever we are, because you might even get people look at you funny for a car you drive, for clothes you wear, for beer you drink, for food you eat, for animals you have. The cat-dog people thing has been going on for years. But we have to look at positivity and how we all relate to each other. Like I said before in one of my earlier videos, we are human. And we're only on this planet for a short time. And it's time for people to stop worrying what other people do in their lives. We used to say it doesn't matter what you do in your bedroom. Well, you know what? It doesn't even matter what you do on the street. As long as it's legal and you're not hurting anybody. And no, me dressing like this is not hurting you. Okay? It's not. And I'm going to be very stern right now. Especially for gentlemen. It's more men that give me looks than women. And I'm telling you, the way I'm dressing is not hurting you. Because dude on the street with the ugly toupee, it's ugly, but you're not hurting me with it. Guy with the ugly bad mustache, it's ugly, but it's not hurting me. But I'm not looking at you and judging you. It's just things we have to take on a day-to-day basis. Because we do have anxieties. A lot of us do. And the best thing someone said to me the other day was, if someone's got a problem with the way you are, that says more about them than it does about you. It's their issues. So, I want to thank Sherry for the question today. And I want to thank everybody else for a great week. I'm going to take the weekend off. I'm not going to do any videos this weekend. I'm going to resume on Monday. Monday, I'm hoping to be more lighthearted. I think we'll get into some fun stuff. We'll talk about clothes and shoes. So some of the guys may not be into this one, but it's still interesting. We'll talk about what happened this weekend and if I had any adventures or anything. Shout out time. We're going to go work related today. I wanted to shout out to a couple people I talked on both Instagram and on Facebook. I want to shout out to Harley, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. I haven't seen you in a while, girl. I can't wait to see you again. Hope everything's going great for you. Shout out to Marilyn. We talked about nails and stuff yesterday. Thank you for for where to go, and I'm going to actually go there hopefully this week and get both hopefully a petty and a mani. Shout out to obviously all my afternoon workers that I work with. Pat, Jared, Tina, Mary, Chris, Luba, Michael, all of them, love working with the people I work with. And big shout out to my my supervisors. Have made things very good for me. I know sometimes manager supervisors don't get credit they deserve. So shout out to Jen, James, Rachel. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. So everybody out there, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy this weather. You know what? I know it's hot, but we all know what's coming in the winter. So let's enjoy this, okay? Love you all. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Love you.